What's going on with your peeps? It's your boy. We back at this thing. Hope you guys have had a wonderful week, a stress-free week. Hope your winter season been good to you. So we want to jump into some health benefits, health tips for olive oil. I call that my magic juice. All right, I'm gonna throw in a couple of another remedy to help you out during the flu season. But before we get into it, I'm gonna drop my disclaimer on you. And before you do anything, based on any suggestions I might give you, as far as these remedies, consult with your family doctor or health specialist. Research it yourself. Just don't take my advice. All right, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a licensed health specialist. All right, these are remedies that I studied and that I've been my own guinea pig on and been taking myself for 15 plus years. All right. So I want to kind of knock that out, and get that out the way. But I promise you this, on a personal note, I've seen some very great, consistent, magical results for myself. All right. So we're going to jump right into it. And this is going to be probably one of the shortest videos I ever make. But the very first and most important benefits to olive oil. Before I get into the benefits, I want to say what brand of olive oil to get. This is the most important thing. The brand I get is extra virgin Papan. All right, but there's other brands you can get. The more important thing is make sure it's a cold press on any bottle that you get. That is important because that's the real organic version of it. When they get these, the olives and they manufacture them, they squeeze the oils, the natural oils out of these olives, and they don't heat them up, so it keeps its natural nutrients. That's why it's organic. All right. I don't care if it says organic or super organic, or if it say organic than a motherfucker. If it's not cold pressed, don't get it. And you can tell the difference also with natural organic based on the color. It's going to be your darker green. All right. If you see it looking, pea yellow or light brown, and 10 times out of 10 is gonna be that other chemicals that's mixed in it. You know what I'm saying? So cold press. One of the best brands I get is extra virgin Papan. Extra virgin Papan. All right. That's very important, y'all. All right. So back to one of the number one things that it helps out is it's very, very beneficial for diabetics that has high blood sugar. All right. It's going to bring that down drastically. I'm not saying it cures that, but the results I've seen and heard over the years from people who've dealt with that and the research is, I'm surprised that it hasn't been out there, but I can understand why it hasn't been out there for a common thing for people to know. But it's very beneficial, especially for some of the older people. So if you have family members, especially some of the older people in your family members that's dealing with this, been dealing with it for years, pass on that information to them. All right. Now it might have, a different effect with people who have, low blood sugar because it helps bring down your blood sugar. So, you might want to consult with your medical doctor, before you do anything with that. You know what I'm saying? Or have them eat something and then take it, like an hour later or something. Either way, it's still good for you. But I'll consult with people who have low blood sugar with your doctor before you take that. People who have high blood sugar is very, very beneficial. All right. I want to make that very clear. All right. So another thing it's good for is very good for your skin. Now, that's the thing says that whatever you can't put on your skin, you shouldn't eat it. That's real talk. Olive oil you can put on your skin. It's good to use for a lotion. I put it on my skin, every day. After I bathe, I rub it on my hands, my arms. I don't necessarily put it on my face. But I'm not saying you can't. But it's very good for your skin. It's good for your pores. It helps give your skin a glow. It's healthy for your skin. It's healthy for your hair. It gives your hair a good glow. It's good for your follicles in your hair, stuff like that too. So it helps prevent some gray hair as well. and for some people, a lot of gray hair. I'm not saying it stops gray hair, but over time, it's in your system. It's so healthy for your hair follicles. It helps prevent gray hair. You know what I'm saying? Now, you look at me. I'm not as old as you think I am, and I'm not as young as you probably think I am. On paper, it'll trip you out if you knew my age, but I don't do the age thing. You know what I'm saying? But it's very good for your body when it comes to skin, hair, and all that stuff. You know, um, it helps, X out the chemicals that people put in, and all kinds of stuff, to, help stuff to prevent things. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it comes to skincare. All right. Another thing it's good for is cooking. I use olive oil. That's my only oil I use for cooking. I don't use any other brand because this is one of the natural brands for cooking. It's more healthier for your food. Um, it doesn't have the ingredients in there that's going to make you feel drowsy or can fluctuate your high blood pressure or your sugar spikes, anything like that. Um, a lot of people starting to cook a lot more olive oil. You look at especially over there in Europe, in Italy, that's all they use. That's their main brand is olive oil. You look at their hair. They have some very nice, strong, beautiful hair. You know what I'm saying? They have it for a long time too. And a lot of thing about Europe in general. There's a lot of countries over there that don't have as many ingredients and foods and stuff like that. Like you know, over in the Western culture and American stuff like that. But olive oil is a very great benefit. A lot of people just don't know the health side of it. You know what I'm saying? All right. So going back to it, it's good for your eyesight. It's good for high blood pressure as well too. It thins your blood. It's just really good for your blood in general because it modulates your blood. You know what I'm saying? Um, Going back to skincare and stuff like that is very good for old injuries, torn issues, just your muscles, arthritis, because it helps with inflammation. I know a guy years back that had surgeries, multiple surgeries on I think his left shoulder, and I told him about olive oil, and about a month later I saw him again, and he was like, "Man, I'm taking an olive oil, man. My shoulder feels good as hell." I'm like, "Yeah, it's probably help clean up the inflammation." You know what I'm saying? And by doing so, you wanna massage. Do it. It's good for massages as well. So I would recommend if you got a boo or significant other at the crib or yourself, do it yourself. I would warm up the olive oil over the stove in a pot, and you don't want to have it hot, just have it warm, and massage it or have a massage on any areas in your body that you might be aching to have old injuries or arthritis, whether it's your back, shoulder, doesn't matter. It's very great for that. You know what I'm saying? I would definitely recommend that. Maybe do it once a week if you can, or once every other week for about 10 minutes. Um, I do it every day after I bathe. When I'm done, I rub it on my knee. I've had a old football injury, minor football injury, for a while, and I rub it every day on that area, on both knees actually, and it helps out so much. You know what I'm saying? So it's good for stuff like that. Now, as far as consumption take, you want to take 2 teaspoons a day. If you have like a lemon, that you can squeeze some drops of lemon in there. It helps for the taste because it has a mildly bitter taste to it, but you don't have to have it. It helps with that. You know what I'm saying? Take it. I would recommend taking it first off 5 days a week, throughout the whole week. Don't take it on the weekends. Let your body get used to not having it, and then have it miss it, and then start over. You know what I'm saying? Rotation the following week. Do that for the first month. All right. How your body get used to it. You gotta get in your system. That it modulates your blood. And when it's at that point, you start telling you'll notice a difference, especially in your energy. But after that, I would start taking it 4 days a week. Monday, Tuesday, don't take it Wednesday, take it Thursday and Friday, don't take it through the weekend. Keep it like that. You know what I'm saying? But going back to the energy, it's very great for your energy. It's gonna give you the energy boost. I promise you, y'all. You're gonna notice a difference probably after about a full week of taking it. You know what I'm saying? But be consistent with it. Because like I said, everything that I said leads up to it getting you the energy boost that you need. You know what I'm saying? Being, good for your blood and you know, your your skin, and it's good for your immune system. And at the end of the day, it's spiritual food. You know, whether you're spiritual or not or whatever. I just use that term from a basic point of view, because it is. It's good energy, and like I said, if you can put it on your skin, you can eat it. It's always gonna be more healthy for you. How many lotions and potions do you have, or do you know that's in your cabinet? You know what I'm saying? Or your bathroom cabinet that you can't put on your skin, or that you can't. I mean, that you can't eat, that you put on your skin. You see what I'm saying? So, this is one of those remedies. It's been a top remedy, man. That's been almost became like a lost art over the time. I see a lot of people now that's, you see videos, people, cooking with olive oil, and they're starting to bring that back, and that's good. And a lot of people done it before, but it's just one of those type of things that want a word of mouth thing, like it was back in the day. And what I mean by that, you had ancestors back, for people that are African American that, was in, slavery time, that had, scraps of hogs and pig ears and chitlins and stuff like that was a very unhealthy for them, and they'll just chug down a jar of olive oil and then clean out their system. Or like I said, in Europe, Italy, that's what they cook. That's their main thing. That's their main oil. You know what I'm saying? Look at their hair. So it's very great for all that, y'all. All right. I want to close out with a remedy that's good for the flu season, and that's ginger root. If you got a juice or a blender, I recommend you get it. You can get one for cheap, and get you some ginger root from the product section from your home, the grocery store. A lemon, honey, some warm water. Juice you about an inch of ginger root, and sip on it. You know what I'm saying? For a little while. Don't just take it directly so fast, because it can burn you. It's good for your immune system. It gets those viruses out your system. I did a video on oil oregano in a prior video, and the benefits of that. This is in addition to that. All right. It burns because it's dealing with a lot of that bacteria. All right. So anyway, that's my tidbit, y'all. Short video, but I want to put y'all on game on some things. All right. Give me a like and subscribe. I hope this helped. Keep your mind straight and keep that light bright. All right. Y'all be easy. Chill.